The morning sun spread its golden glow across the rooftops of Enugu, turning the city into a patchwork of light and shadow. The hum of motorbikes, the calls of street vendors, and the faint laughter of schoolchildren filled the air, the familiar sounds of a city waking to life. But for Amelia Grant, that morning felt heavier than most. She stood by the small bed where her 5-year-old daughter, Chloe, slept peacefully, her tiny hands clutching the edge of Amelia's wrapper. Amelia brushed a strand of hair from her daughter's forehead and sighed deeply. "Lord, please," she whispered, her voice cracking. "Let this be the right decision." For years, Amelia had worked tirelessly as a nurse at the university teaching hospital in Enugu. Since her husband, Michael, died in a car accident 2 years earlier, she'd been struggling to raise Chloe alone while juggling endless hospital shifts. Then came the opportunity of a lifetime, a nursing recruitment program in the UK. It was everything she'd prayed for. Better pay, better prospects, and the chance to secure Chloe's future. But there was one problem. She couldn't take Chloe with her immediately. That was where her younger sister, Christine, came in. Christine was the vibrant one, always confident, social, and sharp-tongued. She lived in Abakba with her husband, Charles, and their 10-year-old son. "Don't worry, Amelia," Christine had said with a smile that day at the hospital cafeteria. "Leave Chloe with me. She's my niece. I'll take care of her like my own daughter. You just focus on your new life." Tears welled in Amelia's eyes. "Thank you, Christine. I don't know what I'd do without you." Christine waved her hand dismissively. "Please, what are sisters for?" If only Amelia knew how those words would come to haunt her. The day of departure came too soon. At Akanu Ibiam Airport, Amelia knelt in front of her little girl, adjusting the collar of her pink dress. "Sweetheart," she said softly, "you'll stay with Aunt Christine for a while. Be a good girl, okay?" Chloe's big brown eyes shimmered with tears. "Mummy, when will you come back?" "Soon, baby. I'll call you every day." Christine stood nearby, scrolling through her phone. "You'll miss your flight if you don't go now." Amelia nodded, fighting back tears. She hugged Chloe tightly, feeling her tiny arms clutch her neck like she never wanted to let go. "Mummy, please don't leave me," Chloe whispered. Amelia's heart shattered, but she forced a smile. "I love you, sweetheart. Always remember that." When the plane finally took off, Amelia pressed her forehead against the cold window. As Enugu disappeared beneath the clouds, she whispered a prayer through trembling lips. "God, please protect my daughter." For the first 6 months, everything seemed perfect. Christine sent pictures. Chloe smiling in a new dress, playing with her cousin, or holding a coloring book. During video calls, Chloe would beam at the screen, waving and shouting, "Mummy!" while Christine stood behind her, grinning proudly. Amelia felt relieved. She sent 80,000 Nigerian nairas every month, for school fees, food, and clothes. Sometimes more when Christine claimed the cost of living had gone up. But gradually, things began to shift. Christine stopped sending photos. The video calls became shorter. Then they became rare. Whenever Amelia called, Christine would sigh impatiently. "Ah, Amelia, you're calling at the wrong time again. Chloe is sleeping." "But how is she?" Amelia would ask. "She's fine. You worry too much." Weeks turned into months. One evening, when Amelia called, Charles, Christine's husband, answered instead. "Oh, Amelia. Good evening." Christine went to a meeting. "Okay. How's Chloe?" "She's around. Maybe she's gone to fetch water or something." Before Amelia could ask more, she heard a faint voice in the background. "Mummy!" Before the line went dead, something inside her twisted. Something wasn't right. Life at Christine's house had changed drastically for Chloe. First, everything was fine. She got her own small room, nice clothes, and breakfast with her cousin. But soon, things took a dark turn. "Chloe, you didn't sweep the living room this morning." "But Auntie, I was doing my homework." "Keep quiet, lazy girl. You think this is your mother's house." Chores piled up. She swept, washed plates, cleaned the compound, and fetched water. Her cousin, David, played video games while she scrubbed the floor. If she tried to sit down, Christine would bark. Go back to work. You're here to learn responsibility. The words burned. Her aunt's tone turned from kind to cruel. Your mother left you, Chloe. If not for me, you'd be on the streets. So you better behave. The money Amelia sent each month never reached Chloe. Christine spent it on designer wigs, parties, and expensive handbags. Sometimes, Chloe was sent home from school because her fees hadn't been paid. Tell your mummy to send more money, Christine would snap. Do I look like I'm made of gold? At night, Chloe would cry silently, whispering to herself, Mummy, please come back. But Christine made sure those cries never reached across the ocean. 3 years later, Amelia sat in her small London apartment, scrolling through Facebook. A photo stopped her cold. Christine was at a friend's birthday party, wearing a bright red gown, holding a Gucci purse, smiling like a woman with no worries. That same week, Christine had begged her for extra money, claiming Chloe needed school uniforms and books. Amelia's heart sank. Something didn't add up. That night, she called an old friend from Enugu, Naomi, who lived near Christine. Naomi, please, she said, voice trembling. Can you check on my daughter for me? I'm starting to feel uneasy. I'll do it tomorrow, my dear, Naomi promised. The next day, Naomi called back, her voice shaking. Amelia, I don't know how to tell you this. I saw Chloe today. Amelia's grip tightened on the phone. You did? How is she? She's not okay. She was fetching water from the well. Her clothes were torn, her feet bare, and she looked so thin. When I called her name, she looked scared, like someone had beaten her. Amelia's entire body went cold. What are you saying, Naomi? Christine told me. I'm sorry, Naomi said, but that child looks like a housemaid in that home. Everyone around knows. Tears poured down Amelia's face. Oh my God! What have I done? Amelia didn't sleep that night. Her mind replayed every memory, every reassuring word Christine had said, every photo she'd stopped receiving. By morning, she had made a decision. She booked a flight to Nigeria. 2 weeks later, she landed in Enugu. The air smelled of home and of betrayal. Without telling anyone, she took a cab straight to Christine's house. Her hands trembled as she knocked on the metal gate. When Christine opened it, her face froze. Sister, you didn't tell me you were coming. Amelia's eyes were cold. Where is my daughter? Christine stammered. Ah, she's inside. Wait, let me. But Amelia brushed past her. What she saw broke her completely. Chloe stood in the corner, holding a mop, her small hands bruised, her skin pale. Her eyes widened in shock. Mummy? She whispered. Amelia's bag dropped to the floor. She rushed forward, wrapping her daughter in her arms. My baby. Oh my God. What did they do to you? Christine began to panic. Amelia, please, let me explain. Explain what? Amelia shouted, her voice trembling with rage. I sent you money every month. 80,000 Nigerian nairas, and you turned my daughter into a maid. Things have been hard. You don't know what I went through. Don't you dare. Amelia roared. You stole her childhood and used her like a servant. Neighbors began to gather, whispering. Christine tried to defend herself, but Amelia was done listening. She took Chloe's small bag, barely filled with a few old clothes, and turned to leave. Struggling doesn't give you the right to destroy someone's life, she said, her voice breaking. At her late mother's old home in Trans-Ekalu, Amelia stayed up all night watching Chloe sleep. The child still flinched in her dreams. Amelia wept silently. I thought I was doing what was best for us. I thought leaving would make your life better. The next morning, she took Chloe to a doctor. The girl was malnourished and had skin infections from overwork and poor hygiene. But the hardest wounds were emotional. When Amelia reached out to hug her, Chloe stiffened. When she offered her food, the child whispered, Auntie Christine said I can't eat before washing the plates. It broke Amelia's heart. Day by day, she began rebuilding what was lost. She bathed her, told bedtime stories, sang lullabies, prayed over her, and never raised her voice. Slowly, Chloe began to smile again. One evening, as Amelia brushed her hair, she whispered, "I'm so sorry, my love. I should never have left you." Chloe looked up at her mother and said softly, "It's okay, Mummy. You came back." Those words pierced Amelia's heart, not with pain, but with healing. Months later, Amelia founded a small non-profit organization in Enugu, the Heart of a Mother Foundation, dedicated to helping mothers who worked abroad find safe, monitored homes for their children. At the launch event, reporters gathered around her. One asked, "Mrs. Grant, what inspired this foundation?" She smiled, holding Chloe's hand. "Because sometimes, love isn't about how much we provide. It's about being present and protecting what truly matters." The crowd clapped. Naomi smiled proudly from the front row. As the sun set that evening, Amelia walked home with Chloe. The girl skipped beside her, holding her hand tightly, laughter filling the air again. Amelia looked down at her and smiled through tears. The past had scarred them both, but it also made them stronger. She had lost trust, hope, and years of her daughter's childhood. But in the end, she found something greater. The morning light spilled softly through the faded curtains of Amelia's mother's old house in Trans-Ekalu. The chirping of birds outside mingled with the faint sound of traffic drifting up from the distant roads. Inside, Amelia sat on the edge of the bed, brushing Chloe's hair gently. The little girl sat still, her back straight but her eyes distant. Each time the brush ran through her tangled curls, Chloe flinched slightly. Amelia's heart broke all over again. "Does it hurt, sweetheart?" she asked softly. Chloe shook her head. "No, Mummy." Amelia smiled faintly, though her chest ached. "You can tell me if it does. No secrets between us. Okay?" The girl looked up, her big brown eyes watery. "Okay." For the first time in months, Chloe managed a small, genuine smile, fragile, but real. Amelia's throat tightened. She stopped brushing and pulled her daughter close, wrapping her arms around the tiny body that had endured too much pain for her age. "It's okay, baby," Amelia whispered. "Mummy's here now. No one will ever hurt you again." Outside, the morning unfolded like a promise. For Amelia, this wasn't just a reunion. It was the beginning of something new, a chance to heal, to rebuild, to forgive, even when forgiveness felt impossible. The days that followed were filled with quiet adjustments. Chloe's health slowly improved under the doctor's supervision. The clinic visits became routine: vitamins, medicated creams, counseling sessions for emotional trauma. Amelia never missed a single appointment. She sat beside Chloe, holding her hand through every injection, every checkup, every tear. At home, she cooked small meals of rice and stew, the kind her mother used to make. Chloe ate slowly at first, but soon her appetite returned. One evening, as they ate together on the veranda, Chloe spoke for the first time about her time with Christine. "Auntie made me wash plates and sweep every day," she said quietly, picking at her food. "Sometimes, when I was tired, she said I was lazy. I wanted to tell you, Mummy, but she said if I complained, you'd stop loving me." The words pierced Amelia's heart like shards of glass. She froze, tears pooling in her eyes. "Oh, Chloe," she whispered, reaching across the table to hold her daughter's hand. "You are the best thing that ever happened to me. No one could ever make me stop loving you. Do you hear me?" Chloe nodded, a tear slipping down her cheek. "I hear you, Mummy." Amelia stood, walked around to her, and knelt beside her chair. She cupped the girl's face in her hands, forcing her to meet her eyes. "You are brave, you are beautiful, and you are loved," Amelia said firmly. "What she did to you was wrong, but we're going to move past it together." That night, Amelia cried silently after putting Chloe to bed. She wasn't just grieving for the years lost. She was grieving the woman she used to be, the one who believed distance could buy a better life. One Saturday afternoon, as Amelia and Chloe walked to the nearby market to buy fresh vegetables, a familiar voice called out behind them. "Amelia!" She froze. Slowly, she turned. And there stood Christine. She looked different. The once glamorous sister with shining hair and designer handbags now looked tired. Her face was thinner, her clothes plain. Even her eyes, which once held an air of superiority, now seemed uncertain. Amelia's first instinct was to walk away, but Chloe gripped her hand tighter. "Auntie Christine," the girl whispered, her tone flat and unreadable. Christine's lips trembled. "Chloe, you've grown so much." Amelia said nothing. The market around them buzzed with activity. Traders calling out prices, the smell of roasted corn in the air. Yet for her, the world seemed to stand still. Christine took a cautious step forward. "Amelia, please, I didn't come to fight." Amelia's jaw tightened. "Then why are you here?" Christine sighed deeply. "I've been wanting to see you both. I've been miserable, Amelia. I can't sleep at night. I know what I did was evil. I used your daughter, your money, your trust. I can't undo it, but I came to say I'm sorry." Amelia's chest rose and fell with quiet fury. "Sorry? You made my daughter a maid in her own family's house. You made her afraid to sleep, Christine." Christine's eyes filled with tears. I know, and I hate myself for it. I was jealous, Amelia. When you went to London and everything started working out for you, I felt small. I thought life was unfair, that you always got the good things while I was left behind." She paused, voice trembling. "So I took it out on Chloe. I told myself she was fine, that kids adapt. But I was lying to myself. I ruined everything." For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Chloe clung to Amelia's side, eyes flicking nervously between them. Finally, Amelia spoke, her voice calm but cold. "I won't pretend your apology fixes anything, Christine. It doesn't. But if you're truly sorry, prove it. Not to me, but to her." She glanced down at Chloe, the little girl who still wakes up crying at night. Christine's face crumpled. She knelt in front of Chloe, tears streaming down her cheeks. "I'm so sorry, Chloe. I don't deserve your forgiveness. But please, forgive me." Chloe looked at her aunt quietly for a long time. Then she said softly, "Mummy says forgiveness makes you free." Amelia's breath caught. Her daughter's words echoed in her heart. Chloe stepped closer to her aunt and whispered, "I forgive you, Auntie. But please, don't hurt anyone else." Christine broke down, sobbing uncontrollably. Amelia stood still, stunned by her daughter's grace. At that moment, Amelia realized something profound. Forgiveness wasn't for Christine. It was for them, for her and Chloe, to release the pain, the bitterness, the endless anger. She took Chloe's hand and said simply, "Let's go home." In the weeks that followed, Amelia focused on rebuilding their lives. She found part-time work teaching art at a small primary school in Independence Layout, a peaceful environment where Chloe also attended classes. Chloe made friends quickly. Her laughter returned, soft at first, then louder, freer. She drew pictures of flowers, sunshine, and two stick figures holding hands, always labeled me and Mummy. Every afternoon, Amelia waited by the school gate. When she saw Chloe running toward her with that radiant smile, her heart would swell with pride. At home, they painted together. Amelia taught Chloe how to mix colors, how to draw skies that looked alive. It became their ritual, mother and daughter healing through art. One evening, as they sat on the veranda painting the sunset, Chloe said quietly, "Mummy, I want to draw something for Auntie Christine." Amelia looked up in surprise. "You do?" "Yes," Chloe said, nodding. "She said she's sad. Maybe if I draw something happy, she won't be sad anymore." Amelia smiled softly. "That's very kind of you." Chloe's compassion stirred something deep within Amelia, a quiet understanding that love wasn't about perfection. It was about endurance, grace, and choosing kindness even when it wasn't deserved. A month later, a letter arrived. The handwriting was familiar. Amelia hesitated before opening it. "Dear Amelia, I've left Enugu. I couldn't stay. Everywhere I went reminded me of what I did. I'm in Abuja now, staying with a friend, trying to start again. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I wanted to tell you that your daughter's drawing arrived today. She sent it through Naomi. It made me cry, not because of guilt this time, but because she saw something good in me that I no longer saw in myself. Thank you for raising her to be better than us. Christine. Amelia folded the letter carefully and placed it in her drawer. For the first time in years, she didn't feel anger when she thought of Christine. Just sorrow and a quiet wish for her redemption. Months later, Amelia got a job offer from a London-based non-profit organization that focused on child welfare. They wanted her to manage their outreach program in Nigeria. It felt like destiny, a way to turn her pain into purpose. By the time they returned to London, Chloe was stronger, happier, and full of confidence. She spoke about her school, her friends, and her dream of becoming a doctor. One evening, Amelia sat on the couch watching Chloe draw. The girl was sketching a family, a mother and daughter standing under a tree. "Mummy," Chloe said suddenly, "are you still sad about Auntie Christine?" Amelia smiled faintly. "Not anymore, sweetheart. I think I've made peace." Chloe looked thoughtful. "Do you think Auntie is happy now?" "I hope so," Amelia said softly. "Sometimes we all lose our way, but I believe everyone can find their way back, if they truly want to." Chloe nodded, satisfied. "Then I'll pray for her." Amelia's eyes filled with tears. "You have the kindest heart, my love." The air was crisp in London as Amelia and Chloe stood in a park surrounded by autumn leaves. Chloe, now 10, laughed as she threw handfuls of golden leaves into the air. Her laughter rang out pure and full, echoing through the quiet park. Amelia sat on a bench watching her. She felt peace, a peace she never thought she'd feel again. As she gazed at her daughter, she reflected on the journey that had brought them here. The pain, the betrayal, the loss, the healing. Every moment had shaped them both into stronger souls. Her phone buzzed with a message. It was from an unfamiliar number. "Hi, Amelia. It's Christine. I just wanted you to know I've started volunteering at an orphanage in Abuja. I'm not doing it to look good, I just want to give back. Tell Chloe I still keep her drawing. It's my reminder that forgiveness can grow even in broken hearts." Amelia smiled softly, tears welling in her eyes. She looked up at the sky, the sunlight breaking through clouds like a quiet blessing. "Thank you," she whispered. That night, Amelia tucked Chloe into bed and sat by the window, looking out at the quiet London skyline. She thought about her mother, about the home in Enugu, about Christine, and about herself. Life had tested her in ways she never expected. But it had also given her something extraordinary, the chance to rebuild, to forgive, to start anew. Forgiveness, she realized, wasn't weakness. It was strength, the kind that comes from choosing peace over pain. She stood, kissed Chloe's forehead, and whispered, "We're okay now." Chloe stirred in her sleep and murmured, "Love you, Mummy." Amelia smiled. "Love you too, my sunshine."